Good evening and welcome to Mega News at 6, coming to you live on MBN TV. We are broadcasting from our studio in Nungwa at Dogono on the 10th Avenue Street. Remember, you can also catch our live stream on Facebook and YouTube at MBN 360. I am Afu Juliet Yaira. Now let's take a look at tonight's major headlines.
Coming up in the headlines, the government says it has procured 24,534 pieces of medical equipment as part of preparation for the rollout of Ghana's free primary healthcare policy. In business, government lost more than 600 million Ghana cedis in tax revenue in 2025 due to 199 million liters of unaccounted for petroleum products, according to the 2025 Petroleum Product Analysis Report. On the international front, Nigeria Air Force says it has launched an investigation after dozens of civilians were reportedly killed in an airstrike on a market on Saturday.
These and many other stories coming up shortly. Now, in our first story, the government says it has procured 24,534 pieces of medical equipment as part of preparations for the rollout of Ghana's free primary healthcare policy.
Health Minister Kwabena Minta Akando announced the government's accountability series, describing the procurement as a key step towards equipping health facilities ahead of implementation. Mr. Akando said the equipment forms part of the efforts to retool health facilities to support the shift towards stronger primary healthcare delivery. He explained that the government is prioritizing CHPS compound health centers and polyclinics as the first points of their care under the new policy. However, details on the specific items procured, distribution planned, and the timelines for delivery to facilities were not immediately provided. The free primary healthcare policy is expected to be launched by President John Dramani Mahama in the coming days, with rollouts beginning in 150 districts before nationwide expansion by 2028.
The government has taken concrete practical steps to ensure that free primary healthcare is not only announced, but will be delivered efficiently and effectively. In preparation for implementation, we have procured and are ready to deploy 24,534 pieces of essential medical equipment across the country. This is intended to ensure our facilities and health workers are equipped and ready for implementation. I've already indicated the equipment status of our health facilities in the country. So we can't just be announcing policies without preparing. So we need to retool our health facilities to properly equip them to face what is ahead of us. This includes critical items such as incubators to support neonatal care, glucometers to enable routine screening and management of diabetes, hospital beds to improve patient care capacity, and ultrasound machines to enhance diagnostic services, particularly for maternal health. Over the next 2 months, Ghanaians will begin to see this transformation in action. We will distribute equipment to all the 150 districts that will be part of the first phase of implementation. We will intensify community sensitization through town halls and engagement. We will deploy trained volunteers to support our community health workforce. We will establish over 350 container-based service delivery points in high-traffic areas such as, markets and lorry parks. Very soon, health workers and volunteers will not only be waiting at facilities, they will be in your homes, schools, churches, and workplaces, screening, educating, and supporting you to stay healthy rather than treating you.
The University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the government for the removal of the Director General of Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, Professor Ahmed Jinapo Abdullahi, and his Deputy Professor Augustine Oklu from office.
In a petition to the president, the association accused the GTEC leadership of regulatory overreach, issuing non-lateral directives and adopting what it describes as a coercive administrative style. At a press briefing in Accra, UTAG National President, Prof. Vera Fiando, also called for immediate withdrawal of GTEC September 30th circular, which disaccredited some institutions. President of the University of Ghana chapter of UTAG, Dr. Jerry Joe Harrison, warned that the association may withdraw its services to GTEC or embark on industrial action if their demands are not met.
Also asked for that all existing post-retirement contracts entered into prior to the said directives be protected and allowed to run their full course without interference. We also seek that UTAG be included in all relevant consultative processes to finalize the LI for Act 1023 and any amendments of the Acts as may be deemed fit as time goes on. And we also demand that the status quo on academic year rollover for regular teaching and non-teaching staff be maintained pending the conclusion of what we consider lawful consultative and regulatory processes. We want to close by saying that UTAG remains highly committed to constructive engagement, dialogue, and genuine reform in the public interest. We have by this press statement, however, serving notice that if appropriate actions are not taken to satisfactorily address our demands within 14 days from today, we shall, upon further consultation with our rank and file, advise ourselves accordingly.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Shippers Authority, Professor Ransford Jampo, has expressed optimism that challenges surrounding the rollout of the Publican AI system will soon be resolved through dialogue and stakeholder engagement.
The introduction of the Publican AI system, which is intended to streamline and modernize import clearance processes at Ghana's ports, sparked significant debate within the shipping and logistics sector. While authorities maintain that the system will enhance efficiency, transparency, and reduce delays, the implementation has been met with considerable resistance from key industry players, particularly freight forwarders. The pushback created tension within the port community, with freight forwarders and clearing agents directed to cease payment of duties and lay down their tools before Monday, April 13th to Friday, April 17th, 2026, as part of the nation trade action declared by the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. Speaking on City Breakfast Show on Monday, April 13th, Ransford Jampo disclosed that he has been mandated to spur discussions with the affected groups, including union leaders and other stakeholders, to find a way forward. The planned meeting is expected to bring together various stakeholders, including freight forwarders and haulage operators, whose roles are critical to the smooth functioning of the port ecosystem.
Trade by one of its key stakeholders that we tend to work for, we tend to protect, and we tend to negotiate in a manner that projects their interest. Section 26(1) of the Ghana Shippers Authority Act at 1122 says, no service provider can render services to shippers unless they are registered with the Ghana Shippers Authority for the purposes of re-regulating their activities. And so we cannot regulate the commercial activities of shippers as provided for by our Act and shipping service providers without knowing or registering them. So prior to the passage of our Act and after the passage, we held extensive consultations and meetings with all stakeholders about the need for them to be talking about here. Importers and exporters are being registered, but shipping service providers like JAPTU are yet to be registered. Recently, we engaged their membership in Takoradi, Tema, and in Kumasi, and their leadership noted that they had already registered their members and that our attempt to re-register them will be a duplication. We agreed to discuss and resolve their concerns in line with the law. So it was therefore surprising when we saw in the news that they are communicating their intention to embark on a sit-down strike. I'm told they said they wrote to us, but checks at my secretariat show that no letter has been received from them. And yesterday, because of this, I held some telephone discussion with their leadership, and we've agreed that this afternoon at 12 p.m. we'll meet with all of them to look at their concerns and to see how we can address them. There is no cause for alarm.
The Minister for Health, Kwabena Mintah Akandor, has announced that Ghana's free primary healthcare policy will be implemented in phases, beginning with 150 districts across the country.
Speaking at the Government Accountability Series held on Monday, April 13, at the Jubilee House, the Minister indicated that implementation will span from 2026 to 2028, starting with selected underserved areas. Out of the country's 261 districts, each region will have selected underserved districts included in the first phase. The minister said the phased approach will allow the government to refine the program as it progresses. The minister said the policy has been carefully developed and it's ready to roll out. Mr. Akandor explained that the government undertook extensive consultations before finalizing the policy. Mr. Akandor also revealed that significant groundwork has already been completed ahead of the official launch, which is expected to be led by President John Dramani Mahama. As part of preparations, the government has procured over 24,000 pieces of medical equipment for distribution nationwide. The items include incubators for neonatal care, glucometers for diabetes management, hospital beds to expand patient capacity. Over the next 2 months, the minister said Ghanaians will begin to see visible changes as the program takes shape.
This phase adjusts and ensure that quality and sustainability are maintained. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for implementation. Prior to Wednesday's launch, which will be done by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama, significant preparation has already taken place. We have mapped the services delivery point and referral systems have been defined. Indeed, the government has taken concrete practical steps to ensure that free primary health care is not only action. We have procured and are ready to deploy 24,534 pieces of essential medical equipment across the country. This is intended to ensure our facilities and health workers are equipped and ready for implementation. I've already indicated the equipment status of our health facilities in the country. So we can't just be announcing policies without preparing. So we need to retool our health facilities to properly equip them to face what is ahead of us.
The National Democratic Congress's party chairman, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, maintains his lead in the race to become the party's next presidential flag bearer, polling at 29% among delegates.
But a fresh tackling poll suggests its position is under growing pressure as Finance Minister Ato Forsen's support sets, narrowing what was once a commanding 16-point advantage to just 10 points in less than 2 weeks. The finding comes from a global info analytics poll conducted between March 31 and April 9th, which said nearly 10,400 NDC delegates across all 16 regions using telephone interviews. It represents the first public measurement of delegates' sentiment since the contest to succeed President John Dramani Mahama began to take shape. Nketia, who was been crisscrossing the country on the thank you tour, led with 29% support in the second poll round. Ato Forsen stands at 19%, followed by Haruna Idrisu at 11%. Julius Debra and Professor Nana Opoku Agyemang tied at 8%, with one in the first poll. A week earlier, Nketia had led 10 to 12%, a gap that has tightened as undecided delegates have broken towards the finance minister. Posters at Global Info Analytics noted that all the major candidates make significant gains except the party chairman, even as his tour gathered pace. For Forsen, who has made no public declarations of intent to run, The data presents a paradox. It is rapidly becoming a serious contender without formally entering the race.
The Accra High Court, presided over by Justice Kizito Nwankwo Kwashi, has adjourned the criminal trial of former National Service Authority Executive Director Osei Asibe Antwi to Wednesday, May 13, 2026. The adjournment follows a request by over 431.8 million Ghana cedis, representing the Republic, Dufie Prempeh, during proceedings on Monday. The prosecution has taken considerable time to prepare the documents and requested a similar period of 1 month for the defense to adequately study them. Justice Kizito Nwankwo Kwashi, following opposition by the defense, ultimately settled on 3 weeks, urging the state to serve the defense timesuously. The case was accordingly adjourned to May 13, 2026. In a related development, the defense prayed for a variation of the accused bail condition to allow Osei Asibe Antwi to report to the Bureau of National Intelligence Office in Kumasi instead of Accra. The prosecution, led by Dufie Prempeh, raised no objection, and the court granted the request, ordering that the accused now reports to the Kumasi BNI. Osei Asibe Antwi, who led the NSA from September 2021 to January 2025, has pleaded not guilty to all 21 charges. The charges, according to the prosecution, arises from an alleged scheme involving payments to non-service personnel and unverified individuals, following investigations that included a performance audit by the Auditor General. He remains on bail under existing conditions, which include reporting to the BNI twice monthly on the first and third Wednesdays, surrender of passports, and placement on the watch list. The case has seen several developments, including amendments to the charge and reduction in bail sum of an initial 800 million to 120 million with 2 sureties. Up next is business. Please do stay. Now let's do some business news. Government has lost more than 600 million Ghana cedis in tax revenue in 2025 due to 199 million litres of unaccounted petroleum products, according to the 2025 Petroleum Products Analysis Report. The lost revenue was expected to accrue to the state through levies, taxes, and other regulatory charges on petroleum products imported into the country, but was not properly accounted for. According to the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, the unaccounted volumes represent 2.1% of the country's total petroleum supply for the year. The report provides a detailed examination of Ghana's petroleum product supply and consumption trends from January to December 2025 with a comparative analysis of 2024. It also highlights national and regional volumes, offering insights critical for market penetration and policy formulation. In 2025, imports of petroleum products increased by 36.7% to 8.71 billion litres, up from 6.23 billion litres in 2024. This growth was driven largely by strong domestic demand. Domestic refinery output, however, declined from 500,000 metric tons to 444,064 metric tons, reflecting operational challenges within the refining sector. Meanwhile, petroleum products exports rose from 524,603 metric tons to 658,500 metric tons. These exports were largely re-exported of petrol, diesel, and LGP to regional markets, including The Ghana Shippers Authority has indicated that the Ghana Union of Traders Association (GUTA) will suspend the full rollout of its planned trade action against the Publican AI system following a high-level meeting between the two parties. The meeting held at the Ghana Shippers House in Accra on Monday, April 13, 2026, brought together GUTA leadership, representatives of JAMPU, to address concerns raised by the traders over the introduction and operation of the system. In an earlier press statement signed by GUTA President Clement Boateng on Sunday, April 12, 2026, the association has directed freight forwarders and clearing agents to cease payment of duties and suspend operations from Monday, April 13th to Friday, April 17th, 2026. As part of a nationwide trade action aimed at compelling the suspension of the Publican AI system for further stakeholder engagement. However, following the meeting, GUTA agreed to suspend the full-scale rollout of the action to allow further consultations, including scheduled engagements with the Minister of Transport, Joseph Nikbe Bukari, on Thursday, April 16, 2027. During the meeting, the Chief Executive Officer of the GSA, Professor Ransford Jampu, underscored the importance of dialogue and collaboration in resolving industry concerns, assuring traders that the issue would be addressed through the appropriate institutional channels. He emphasized that in the world of sports, the Ghana Police Service has launched a manhunt after the Bekum Chelsea player was shot dead during a highway robbery on the Ashiresu KDS road.
The team was returning from a Ghana Premier League match against FC's Tamatex when the incident occurred. According to reports, the bus was ambushed by armed robbers on the Bibiani Gosu Road. The attackers reportedly blocked the route, forcing players and officials to abandon the vehicle and flee into nearby bushes. During the chaos, several players sustained injuries whilst Frimpong was shot in the head. In a statement dated April 13, 2026, the police said the team bus was ambushed by 6 armed men. Police patrol teams responded to distress calls and proceeded to the scene, the statement said, adding that the bus skipped into a bush whilst attempting to escape. Dominic Frimpong sustained a gunshot wound, unfortunately passed away whilst receiving treatment, police said. They added that 2 spent BB cartridges were retrieved from the scene to assist investigation and assure the perpetrators will be arrested within the shortest possible time.
Black Stars midfielder Thomas Partey has pleaded not guilty to 2 additional counts of rape during a court appearance at Southwark Crown Court in London.
The 32-year-old midfielder, who is currently on trials, denies all allegations against him, including previous charges of rape involving 2 women and a sexual assault of a third. The latest court sections follows new allegations brought in February 2026, in which Partey is accused of raping another woman twice in December 2020 in London. His defense lawyer, Jenny Woodside, reaffirmed his position, stating Thomas Partey continues to deny all charges against him. He has cooperated with the police throughout. Given there are ongoing legal proceedings, there will be no further comment. The former Arsenal star was initially charged in 2025 with 5 counts of rape against 2 women and 1 count of sexual assault involving a third complainant, following an investigation by the Metropolitan Police. He has already entered not guilty plea to all these charges, which relate to alleged incidents in 2021 and 2022. The trial is scheduled to take place at the Southwark Crown Court in November 2026, and according to prosecutors, the new allegations emerged after earlier charges became public. Prosecutor Alabera McDonald previously told the court that the complainant in the latest case came forward after widespread media coverage of the initial accusation. The additional charges involves a fourth alleged victim have now been formally joined to the ongoing proceedings. Thomas Partey, who previously played for Arsenal after a £45 million move from Atletico Madrid in 2020, currently plays for Villarreal. Despite the ongoing legal case, the midfielder remains active in professional football and is preparing to play with the Black Stars at the World Cup in June 2026. His bail conditions allows him to continue playing but requires him to notify authorities 24 hours in advance of any international travel and prohibit any contact with the complainant. Thomas has made recent appearance for both club and country and remains part of Ghana's national team set up, although his immediate future may depend on the outcome of the trial.
On the international front, Pope Leo has said he has no fear of the Trump administration and will continue to speak out against war after the U.S. president launched an unusual and scathing attack over his stance on the Iran conflict.
Donald Trump accused the pontificate of being weak in crime and terrible for foreign policy in a Truth Social post, later telling the reporters he was not a big fan. The Pope told reporters en route to Algeria that he did not want to get into a debate with Trump but would continue to promote peace. He's been a staunch critic of the Iran war, calling Trump's threat to destroy Iranian civilization unacceptable and calling for him to find an off-ramp to end the conflict. In general, it is real for Pope to directly address statements by world leaders. There are more than 70 million Catholics in the U.S. and about 20% of the population. They include Trump's vice president, J.D. Vance. Trump's remarks came as the pontificate embarked on an 11-day trip to Africa, his second major foreign trip since being elected last year. The U.S. president wrote in Sunday's Post that the Pope should get his act together and said he was weak on the nuclear weapons, apparently referring to Tehran's attempt to become a nuclear power, and cited as one of the reasons for the US and Israel going to war with Iran. He also suggested that the pontificate was elected because he was an American, and they thought that would be the best way to deal with President Donald Trump.
The Nigerian Air Force says it has launched an investigation after dozens of civilians were reportedly killed in an airstrike on a market on Saturday.
The strike happened at Jelly Market along the border between Borno and Yobe State as military aircraft were hunting Islamist militant, local resident, and Amnesty International says more than 100 people lost their lives. Authorities have yet to confirm the death toll, but some hospitals in Yobe State says they are treating those injured. In a statement, the Nigerian Air Force said it has sent a team to immediately proceed to the location on a fact-finding mission on the allegation. One of those receiving treatment at the hospital said he has gone to the market to buy animals when he was hit. Nigeria's military on Sunday confirmed the strike in a statement, saying it has targeted a location in Jelly long identified as a major terrorist movement corridor and a convergence point for Islamic State, West African province terrorists and their collaborators, describing it as a carefully well-coordinated plan and intelligence-driven operation. The military said it has successfully conducted a precision airstrike on a known terrorist enclave and a logistics hub located near the abandoned village of Jelly. It said scores of terrorists were killed in a strike, but did not mention any civilian casualty.
Let's do a recap of tonight's major headlines.
Coming up in the headlines, the government says it has procured 24,534 pieces of medical equipment as part of preparation for the rollout of Ghana's free primary healthcare policy. In business, government lost more than 600 million Ghana cedis in tax revenue in 2025 due to 199 million liters of unaccounted for petroleum products, according to the 2025 Petroleum Product Analysis Report. On the international front, Nigeria Air Force says it has launched an investigation after dozens of civilians were reportedly killed in an airstrike on a market on Saturday.
Thanks for watching the Mega News at 6 on MBN TV. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at MBN360, but on TikTok at MBN TV Official. Once again, I am Afu Juliet Yaira. Please do enjoy the rest of your evening.
MBN, the Gospel News and Entertainment.